Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dungeons and Drams, where me and tonight just Adriana are going to be doing a little interlude where we explore some of Urngur Zuek with TaLin Creek. So, Adriana, what are you drinking tonight, as if we don't already know?
Right. I actually poured more while we're chatting beforehand. And it is, oh, I lost the bottle, but it is an old elk pick that I got in Vegas a couple years ago. We got 2 bottles of it. It's one of the best weeders I've ever freaking had. And for me, this is the proof that if you can get an old elk pick, you should. They're so good.
I have bad luck with old elk. I've tried a few of them, and so far, at best, I've been like lukewarm on them. Yeah.
I don't like their regular stuff. I've yet to like a regular release or the weird. Utah did a pick of their like wheated whiskey, not wheated bourbon, like wheat whiskey. Ugh. But this is so good. Like, we tried it at the liquor store. I've sent samples to people before, and like rarely do people actually get back to me about how the samples are. But each time people have been like, that old elk was ridiculous. I'm like, yeah. So to me, in my head, I'm like, oh, old elk wheated bourbon picks, at least.
Okay.
That are like, cast strength proof sort of thing.
Well, if you're listening and you see an old elk weeded store pick, it's
Get
probably
on it.
a good gamble. Well, then let me ask you, since I assumed that you'd be drinking Knob Creek, I have my regular Knob Creek, the 100 proof. I've got the single barrel reserve, which I think I'm going to have that second because that's 120. And then I have my rye. So should I start with the bourbon or the rye? What would you say?
Well, damn, I didn't know you had like a Knob Creek lineup. I totally would have done that. I did start with Knob Creek 12.
I just assumed,
I'm trying to change it up because everybody judges me. So,
well, so you have a hold on. You've got the, I see that old granddad back there, the 114. So I'll drink that with you instead. All right, we'll do that instead.
Sweet.
See, this is just your way of talking me from going from 100 proof to 114, and I understand.
Would that help things? Would that help me get advantage on rolls?
keep in mind that Piddles accidentally made you unconscious without me realizing it, so drinking more might not necessarily turn out well for you.
Oh yeah, that was not great. I'm just realizing that my dice are out of reach.
Oh, okay.
I can see them. But,
well, after you pour, why don't you go grab them, and then we'll get right to it. When you guys saw us last, TaLin was just separating from the group who was heading down with the obsidian blades to go plan a little heist. But TaLin decided that she had a little extra adventure that she wanted to go on the side. But first, I do want to remind you that Booker is at the Silver Paw Spa and needs to be picked up, and I would suggest doing so prior to heading over to the Spinning Spores.
Perfect, because I definitely want to go pick up Booker and see how clean and beautiful he is and how fixed his paws are.
Wonderful.
So I'm all about it.
Excellent. All right, so we'll have you kind of just go over to the Silver Paws Spa. Harder to say than it sounds. And as you kind of come up there, Booker is all ready for you, and he has he's perfectly manicured. He's got a nice, shiny coat. He's wearing one of those little bandanas around his neck that says "Positively Dwarven-tastic."
Oh my god, that's fucking ridiculously cute. I can't. That's so good. I need that custom bandana. After this, I'm going to Shopify and making that.
And when he sees you, he kind of jumps up on you, and he's very excited to see you, looking at your face, etc., etc. Now, the all-important question. Is Booker going to be wearing his top hat tonight?
So I was going to ask, actually, because I think I left it there and they were adding the strap. Could I stop back there now? Like, would it be ready? Can I stop back and pick up my top hat?
You would have taken it when you left. It only took a little while.
Okay, they'd already attached it and everything. Absolutely. That's the first thing. With the bandana. Bandana is still on. And I'm currently, after giving him lots of smooches, because he looks beautiful and now he smells good. No offense, Booker, but you stunk. And now I'm immediately putting on his top hat and seeing how it looks.
Fantastic.
And I think that Booker is loving it. Like, he is feeling himself. He's like strutting.
So Booker is going to make a performance check real quick. So Booker, Booker's actually got a negative modifier to his performance, which I'm very surprised at. Either way, he rolled an 11.
How's that possible?
I'm surprised. Well, it's not it's not persuasion or, he's just adorable, but he's not very charismatic, I suppose. Anyway, so Booker,
just like his
11,
mama.
You're right. He's looking quite dapper in his hat, and he kind of holds it, and it's fitting him perfectly, and he enjoys having it on as well. So, yes. Unlike most dogs, he's not going to try to take it off, although he's not loving the bandana. So
that's fair. That's fair.
All right. So, would you like to head over to the Spinning Spores?
Yeah.
Or is there anything that you'd like to do ahead of time? How are you on? I actually probably could have looked at this. How's your inventory as far as like arrows or anything else that you might want to have? Because we can kind of role play that real quick if there was any gear that you wanted to buy. All right. So with your inventory, I'm not sure what you've got in there, but if you want to stop by a shop and just pick up anything like arrows or whatever other tools, we can do that real quick. Is there anything that you need?
I am going to go and just pick up some arrows real quick.
Cool. All right. So those are
a gold set.
You can find those in any one of these shops. So for gold, it'll be a stack. So you can add 20 to your inventory.
All right. Okie doke.
Cool.
Get it. Woohoo.
All right.
22 arrows. Yay. Much better.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to drag you over to the Spinning Spore so we can kind of get into this. All right, so before we kind of get into the Spinning Spores, can you tell the audience about what happened with Grumblewort?
Yeah, so I, aka TaLin, has been to Urngorzuk before I joined up with this insane crew and everything, with Booker, of course. And last time I was here, Grumblewort was in a spot of trouble because the Platinum Weave thought that they had this mold growing on some of their like magical fabrics, and Grumblewort over here, weird looking, shady looking dude, grows mushrooms, and they blamed it on him and thought it was his fault. And I proved his innocence and that it was actually this douchey trader guy that they had passed up a deal with, and he was mad, and that was his revenge. So I kind of helped out Grumblewort before, and he is rewarding me with another side quest.
Nice. Through the power of science, you proved. Yes.
Yes. Science solves everything.
Science does. All right. So, without further ado, so as we enter the Spinning Spores, so the Spinning Spores is a dimly lit cave. Its walls are covered in a soft, furry moss that has a very slight illumination to it. And you notice that the lamps that are inside this cave, the couple that you can see, are illuminated using like a very dull red light. So things look a little strange in here, and the shadows are kind of playing some tricks on your eyes as well. The air in here is pretty thick and musty. It smells like mushrooms growing. So fairly easy to imagine, just a earthy kind of rotten, maybe like leaves kind of smell to it. So as you walk in, actually I should give you Booker because you now have Booker, and what would this game be without Booker? With his top hat, yes. So Booker by your side, you see Grumblewort Stonebeard. He's kind of going through a chest or like a crate of some sort up to your north. He has not yet noticed that you came in.
Have I been here before? Like, did I visit this place last time I was here?
You visited some of it. So you came in here, and there's a couple of rooms that you'll see within a few minutes from now that are where you've been before. So you know that in the room in front of you, it's a big metal door, and it looks a little bit wet to the touch. And behind that, you know there to be just a ton of mushrooms growing. And that's where you did most of your research and figuring out about the mold.
So having had done research there, do I know what kind of mushrooms? Like, are these just like the kind you eat, or
so
culinary mushrooms, or?
So most of what you saw were the mushrooms that are used to feed the denizens of Urngorzuk. It's found in a lot of the foods that they have here. There's several different types, and you learned a few of them. Roll nature for me. Let's see what you remember.
Okie dokie. First roll of the night. Was it last time we were all so desperate to roll we attacked Knobolas?
That's right, yeah. You guys just beat him up. Yeah,
poor Knobolas. 10.
All right, so with a 10, so you remember a couple of the mushrooms that you looked at, the ones that you were spending most of the time with, and one of them is called the hearth cap, and that's the kind of the main one that you're going to find in most of the foods here. It's kind of a medium-sized mushroom. It's got like a reddish-brown cap, and yeah, I mean, it looks like a mushroom,
Cool.
but it gives a typical mushroomy, earthy flavor. The other one that you remember is called a star shroom. And it's got a unique kind of like a star-shaped cap at the top. It's dark blue in color, and it's a little bit more umami. So it's like a higher end mushroom.
Okay, cool. Oh, at least you got some fancy mushrooms. Nice.
You got some fancy mushrooms, yeah. So Grumblewort he's a dwarf. Just a quick reminder for the audience what he looks like. So he's kind of this pallid. He's got like taut skin. He looks malnourished, or at least like he spends way too much time in here. He's got a kind of scraggly beard, mostly gray, but some silver in there as well. And currently he is wearing a hat that actually looks like the cap of a mushroom.
That is dedication.
Yes, he's very into his craft. And
I dig it. I respect that.
And he is leaned over this crate, like kind of like legs off the ground, just digging around in the bottom of the crate.
Wait. Is he wearing a robe?
He is wearing, yes, but he's got pants on.
Okay, thank God. I was like, am I getting flashed? I do not want to see this pallid, shady guy's anything.
That's the whitest ass you'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. I just ran away from that whole like harem situation that was going on.
I love how you just assumed that's what that was about. It was super not what that was about.
Look, I had to do with Knobolas. You said there's four. That's true. There's a big awkward pause. Like,
anytime Knobolas is involved, it's fair to be cautious. Yes.
It's fair to assume, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I holler out to Grumblewort because I know, like, he can be like very in the zone and oblivious, and I don't want to like freak him out or anything. So I holler out before actually like taking any real steps closer to him.
Sure.
Give him a heads up.
Yeah. So he kind of, you see his legs kick a little bit. They kind of stick straight back as if you surprised him a little bit. And he goes, TaLin, is that you?
I have so much respect for this situation as a short person who has been there.
It's almost like I designed this for you.
It just hits a little too close to when somebody just today was like, did you know that this table lowers, and lowered it for me? That's real. So I respond. I'm like, yeah, Grumblewort, what's up? I was finally able to make it over, so I couldn't come over sooner.
So he takes a second. He kind of like, he's like trying to roll almost like a turtle. He has to kind of roll on his side a little bit in order to get his feet back on the ground. And he stands up and he kind of starts walking over to you and he says, I'm so glad that you could make it. Hey, Booker. Hey, nice to see you. I like your hat. It looks pretty nice. And then he kind of tips his own hat to him.
Booker absolutely wags his tail and does like, just like a little bit of like a bow kind of thing as like his way of tipping his hat back.
Very fancy animal.
Oh, he's dapper. He's dapper AF.
So he says, all right, TaLin, come over here. I want to show you a couple of things. I called you over here. There's a problem with the mushrooms, but come over here. So he walks over. Yeah. He kind of opens up this wooden door. Again, just everything in here is a little bit damp, so the door itself, you'd think being wet it would be like fairly quiet, but no, it creaks like crazy. Just and he walks in. Inside of his room, you see there's a stone table, a few stone chairs surrounding it, and in general, it's just very dark in here. Especially you don't have night vision, so everything's pretty hard to see. But he goes over to a shelf and he takes off a book and he says, "So there's a problem with the help here. Something's going on, but there's all these purple vines." And he's like shuffling through his book real quick, trying to find stuff, and he pulls out this picture, and you see on the top of the page it says violet fungus, and you see a picture of kind of this big mushroom. It's violet, and he says, "This is kind of what it looks like, but it's much bigger than this. It's these grow underneath the Erngorzurk, down deep underground. But there's something else in the cave, and it's really affecting the quicklings that help with the mushrooms."
Wait, who helps with the mushrooms?
The quicklings.
Quicklings.
Roll Arcana.
Something else is growing down this. Okay.
Yeah. So roll Arcana for me. Let's see what you know about a quickling.
Okay. Okie dokie. Ooh. Okay. I hope it. Oh, I shouldn't. Yes. Come on, baby.
All right. Nice.
Give me the result. 19.
So somewhere in your travels, somewhere in your studies, you've learned about quicklings. They are these little creatures from the Fey realm, and they're super fast. The idea is that they don't live very long, but they're extremely fast. They're not exactly pleasant, but and it would be a little strange to see them here under some sort of agreement, apparently, to help raise mushrooms. But supposedly their business is their own.
Okay. So it's weird that they are working like deep underground.
Yeah, deep underground for sure, but more so that they're working at all. So things from the Fey realm, it's like a whole nother plane of existence. And I'll give you a little bit more with the 19 that you rolled with Arcana. So the Fey realm, there are multiple planes in this universe, right? There's like the plane of fire and the plane of air, and there's the Fey realm, and there's the Shadow Dark. There's all these different things. And with the Fey realm, there's a number of creatures there, and they all act a little bit weird. The best way to describe it is people refer to a morality system. Like, people even in our world, like we have kind of this like things are black or white. But with Fey creatures, things are orange or blue. It's just a whole different method of thinking. And if they see something that they want, they'll just take it because that's theirs. It's just a very different way of thinking. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't believe that I don't believe that you guys have ever run into any other Fey creatures since you've been adventuring.
Oh, okay. Because I was actually about to ask, because I'm so hung up on those. What are they? Kobolds?
Kobolds? Those are not Fey creatures.
That are all over the place? Okay, those are not Fey creatures. Gotcha.
Correct. Yep.
Just wanted to see if for some reason there were a bunch here. Okay, so this is TaLin.
Mm-hmm.
How are the quicklings being affected? Like, what's happening to them?
Well, normally they help us to gather the mushrooms. They tend to them. They're very small creatures, so the mushrooms are only a little bit smaller than them. And right now, something's happening, like, where they're just acting a little funny. I've caught some of them actually eating some of the more magic mushrooms that we have. And they've gotten some let's say, abilities from eating them. So I can't handle this myself. And I'm looking for somebody like yourself to kind of help wrangle them. I'd rather not kill them if we can help it, but they can't keep going the way that they are. But more importantly, I need to know why they're acting so strange. What is happening in this cave? And are my mushrooms gonna have a problem? Because people gotta eat.
So are violet fungi known for causing any sort of unusual reactions in anyone?
Roll nature. So one nice thing about a one-on-one.
Story already.
So one nice thing about one-on-one, you get to roll a lot.
Yes, this is awesome.
Novelist.
Also, I just love the whole concept of this story.
Awesome,
kind of thing.
Great. With a 17. So you actually take the book out of Grumblewart's hand and you start flipping through it. You personally don't know a whole lot about violet fungus, but as you look at the pages that he has, there's like 3 pages on violet fungus, and basically they're aggressive. They have these tentacles, or you could call them roots, that go underground, and they will attack. But all in all, there's nothing about psychic abilities or mind, anything messing with their mind. Nothing specific about the violet fungus.
Okay, and just to clarify about the vines that are somewhat aggressive from the violet fungi. So the violet fungi grow out of this lower level kind of thing to begin with, and their vines are beneath?
So typically violet fungus, so they would be in the Underdark, which consider the Underdark to be like the deep places of the planet, right?
Oh shit! I have to go down to the Underdark.
Maybe, but we'll see. So what you know is that they are native to the Underdark, and for them to be here, you are inside of a mountain, but it's not the Underdark. It would be strange for them to be here.
Yeah, but he's purposely growing them here.
No. He says that the tentacles. He says the tentacles. They only started coming around about a week ago, and they certainly don't. I've never seen them before.
Oh, okay. So these tentacles are coming out. He can tell that they are from violet fungi. That is not a mushroom he is trying to grow.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay. I thought he had the quicklings were purposely caring for the violet fungi, and for some reason there was a side issue happening to them. Violet fungi shouldn't even be here.
Correct. Yep.
Gotcha.
Now, okay. He sees you. He sees you kind of like having a hard time seeing here, and he says, "If you'll help me out, I've got these goggles." And he picks them up off the table, and he says, "These will help you to see in the dark quite a bit better. If you'd like them."
Yes, absolutely.
All right,
is this like a reward if I complete this, or this will help me with this task?
Well, he says
I can now use this.
He actually says that he needs them back before you go, but you're welcome to use them while you're here.
Okay, well, I'll take that.
All right, cool. So
I'm feeling very squinty right now.
So he's going to give you the goggles of night. So the goggles of night, they sorry, real quick, for your bow that you're using the UNT Serpent bow, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll take care of that. So the goggles of night are technically they're a magic item, but they're more just like they're a magic item, but they don't require attunement or anything like that. But using them gives you 60 feet of dark vision. All right, I hope that those goggles help you out. I hope that you're willing to help me out. If you are, just kind of take a right. You've been through there before. It's that big iron door. Just go ahead and open it up and head on in. But make sure to shut it behind you. I don't want any of them getting out and causing problems.
All right. Come on, Bucker. Let's go, bud.
All right.
We're going through this iron door, I assume.
Sure. All right, so you open up the giant iron door. It's pretty heavy, especially with your small frame. Opening it up is a little tough. However, as you walk in, this room is very dark. The only lights that you see in here are from the walls. And on the walls, there's a number of different colored glowing fungus. And each one seems to be bioluminescent in its own spectrum. But aside from that, you can just barely make out that there are a number of boxes, probably about 50 boxes in this room. And each one is completely filled with mushrooms.
Alrighty.
So now this is the room that you had been in previously. And
okay,
so this isn't totally unknown to you, but it was a little lighter in here last time. You had more people kind of helping you out. You had a torch. It looks a little different with no real light.
This looks crazy. The last time I was here, I mean, even if it was lit, I should be able to see some bioluminescent. Like, I feel like I would have noticed if there were bioluminescent mushrooms before.
Yeah.
Were there bioluminescent mushrooms before?
There definitely were. Yep. Good question, though. But in the complete darkness here, they're really kind of shimmering and showing all of their lights.
Now they're crazy.
Yeah.
Very
all right.
cool.
So at the far end of this room, there is another big stone door.
Okay. So I've been to this room before. I would wander around it real quick. I guess like a maybe perception or something. Just to see if there's, aside from it being darker, is there anything else, does anything seem to be rotting, or is there any like new mold growing on stuff that wasn't there before? Like,
sure.
Do the shrooms seem as healthy as before?
So just for my information, between inspection investigation and nature, what are you better at? Or what would you consider TaLin to be better at? Because you actually have +1 to both. But what do you think TaLin would spend more time? Like, are you good with nature, or do you just are you good with nature because you study so much?
Can you kind of give me an idea of what inspection is?
So there's two different things you can do. So perception is looking around the room. Inspection is the best way to do it is I walked into a bedroom and I look around and I see a bed and a nightstand. Inspection is I start looking through the drawers of the nightstand. Nature is I look underneath the bed and see if something's growing. So
yeah. I'm trying to separate myself and TaLin. I'm like, okay, what would TaLin actually be more of? I think TaLin comes from like more of an like just not totally outdoor nature. Like her original background is more just about scholarly stuff. So I think she would be more inspection. Which is hard for me to say because I want her to be more nature, but I think inspection actually makes more sense.
I actually agree.
Is that perception?
From what I know about TaLin, I think investigation would probably be more your thing than nature.
Okay.
But I do think that you've learned a lot from reading. So inspection would probably be what I would have you roll. So go ahead and roll inspection.
So inspection's not a thing for me. So is that investigation?
Investigation. I don't know why I keep saying inspection. I'm sorry. Investigation.
Okay. I'm like, I'm not seeing this.
Inspector.
Wah, wah.
All right. So with
8.
With an 8, even with your new goggles, you're kind of walking around and it looks pretty cool in here. It's almost like an aurora just dancing across the walls. And although you're looking around, there's just not enough light in here to really see well. You could certainly light a torch if you decided to, but with the stuff being as it is right now, you can't see anything that's really all that useful.
Question. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, actually 2 questions with that. Would the torch mess up my NVG, my night vision goggles?
Nope, because they're not night vision. They're magic goggles that help you see in the dark. Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then second question, can Booker roll a perception and maybe see if the things smell different? Because he was with me last time.
Not only that, but he could roll perception with advantage. Because he has keen hearing and smell, which means if he's trying to smell for something, in this case, that's what he'd probably be looking for. He can roll it with advantage.
Yes. I thought you were going to say it was because of the hat, but 20, a dirty 20.
With a 20, so Booker starts kind of sniffing around at the ground. He's going underneath the tables and these little plods of dirt, and he's really kind of sniffing around. And all of a sudden he stops and he just starts staring into one of the corners, and then suddenly you see his hat just is gone. It gets knocked off of his head. It flies about 10 feet away, and then it's just gone. I mean, it's on the ground.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I can find it.
You could totally find it. Yeah, you could pick it up. You could put it back on his head if you want to. But, yep. Okay. And Booker, he starts kind of growling. He's growling towards this corner on the top right here.
Okay. So since it's so dark in here and these goggles only help so much, I am going to go ahead and light a torch and like slowly approach this corner to see. Also, I picked up Booker's new hat and I stored it in my pack to keep it clean and safe.
Okay.
So, but he does have that fancy armor that we got a little whiles ago.
That is true. He does. He does have fancy armor on.
Just to clarify to everybody, he's wearing his armor. I'm saying it now.
Okay, fair enough.
So I light a torch.
Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and do that for you. So torch, I believe, let's do 15 and 30. Whoops, I did that backwards. But that's okay.
Ooh.
30 and 15. There we go. All right, so you light a torch, and this corner of the room lights up, and you see a little yellow, little tiny elf-looking thing is kind of hiding next to one of the legs of this table in the top right. And he's just kind of like jerking, like he's shaking a little bit. He's looking around, and you see him just kind of, he darts across the room and disappears.
Okay, do I recognize this creature at all?
This is definitely one of the quicklings.
Okay, this is a quickling.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So he's wigging out. Why is he up here? Okay. And that's probably what Booker... So I'm going to go closer just to make sure... Like, was there anything near there? Was Booker, like, growling at the quickling? Or was there something that was making the quickling...
So Booker watched the quickling kind of run, and he's keeping his eyes on him, but now Booker is kind of walking around looking, sniffing and stuff, and it seems like he's lost track of it.
Okay. So now that I have my torch lit, can I take another gander for anything bizarre?
Absolutely. So you walk over there and you spot him again. Him or her. It's hard to tell from this distance. And you hear this little voice. And it says, "Glowing spores, power! Make us swift, make us strong. Nothing can stop us now."
Oh, they high on something.
And then he starts to run towards you. But he's so quick. He's about, he's so quick that as he runs past you, like there's not much that you can do unless you decide that you'd like to. Like you could try to take a swipe at him if you'd like to, but it's up to you.
Can I trip him? Can I try to trip him? Just like
you can
put my foot out real quick and try to trip him?
Yeah, go ahead. So any attack against any sort of attack against this little guy has disadvantage. So you'll have to roll your attack with disadvantage. Yep. So use your unarmed attack.
That makes sense. Oop. Why have I lost that?
I think it's under features. Usually, anyway. Hold on.
Sorry?
No,
I found it. Sorry.
Okay.
Somehow it's in inventory.
It's in inventory. That's right. I know that whenever Daffy would kick stuff, like she'd always have to find it. All right, so roll your unarmed attack with disadvantage.
I miss her kicks.
I know.
Das Boot. Okay, disadvantage. So 16 though.
All right, a 16. So a 16 will just hit. So you trip him. This little guy, he's running super, super fast. You put your foot out and he trips over it, and he kind of just slides, and he ends up sliding right in front of Booker. And he's basically right underneath Booker's head, and he's sliding across on his stomach. How much damage did you do, by the way? Go ahead and roll damage.
I didn't want to do him any damage. I'm sorry.
All right. Bud. Well, we can do minimum damage.
I just wanted to stop him.
Yeah, okay. I'll do a couple points of damage. That's fine.
Okay. So can I yell at Booker, like grab him, and Booker like grab like his shirt to try and hold on to him?
Yeah, no problem. Let's have Booker do a bite attack with. At this point, he'll have regular, not disadvantage, not advantage, just regular attack.
Okay, just normal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Booker.
Yes, 23.
Booker leans down and grabs this quickling in his teeth, and he's holding him by his little yellow shirt.
Yeah.
And his feet are kicking, his arms are going. They're so fast that they're like a little blur of motion, but he's freaking out. And you notice that his eyes are glowing yellow as well. His whole body is like everything about him just appears yellow. It's almost like Alessio with his little mustard glow, his mellow corn.
That mellow corn glow.
Yeah. And he says, let me go. I have to get the mushrooms. I have to get the mushrooms.
Okay. I will let you go, I promise. You're going to be fine, buddy. But what mushrooms are we talking about? I won't take them, I promise. I'm just curious.
For a very slight moment, his body stops moving as fast as it can, and he kind of looks at you, and then he looks around at the room, and he just kind of motions with his hands, like all of the yeah, like
any mushroom.
Look around. All of the mushrooms.
It doesn't.
I have to take care of the mushrooms. You have to let me go so I can take care of the mushrooms.
Okay, well, have you been eating any mushrooms? Have you tried any? Are any of them good?
Uh, I have the glowing gills. They're very good. Glowing gill mushrooms. Very, very good.
The glowing gill ones, huh? Are those in this room?
No, they're in another room further. But they help me. They help me see in the dark, and they help me to help with the mushrooms a lot faster, a lot faster.
Well, I'm here to also help with the mushrooms. Could you guide me to the glowing gill mushrooms so I can help with the mushrooms?
And you see he let's do this. So he kind of like straightens his arms and he slips out of the shirt that Booker is holding and he drops down to the ground.
Oh my god, he's naked.
But no, actually, yeah, he probably wouldn't be wearing another shirt. So, and he runs over to the door to the north of you, and he just starts kind of hopping up and down. He's, go through there, and then he zips over back behind some of these mushrooms here, and disappears.
Okie doke, bud. Well, that's a little crack-headed dude. All right, Buck, let's go find the glowing. Oh, I was gonna say this before. I don't know if it counts, but did I see and could I roll for a scene like any crumbs on him to like help me identify like which ones he was eating? And like,
I wouldn't say he had anything like that on him. He told you he was eating the glowing gill mushroom.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, this guy seems really freaked out, so I'm gonna let him do his work, and I'm gonna go through this north door.
Sure. So you hear little feet behind you, like just kind of racing back and forth. So the door that's in front of you, so this is another big, heavy stone door. And as you open it up, the room in front of you is actually pretty well illuminated. There's another one of those red sconces on the wall, actually a couple of them. But in front of you, there are 3 doors. There's one big stone door, and there's 2 wooden doors. The wooden door is on your left and right, the stone door directly in front of you. But on the ground, you see these little purple vines are starting to grow from the ground. And as you look at them, they appear to be really wet.
Wet. Okay. Interesting. When I read through the book about the violet fungus, did I see anything about, like, are these vines responsive to touch kind of thing? Like that's what they go after, or certain vicinity sort of thing? Because you had said that I saw that they were aggressive vines. What is it like? They have to be touched to be aggressive, or?
You didn't see much about that. It more talked about if you go close to them, to watch where you're stepping. Because they like maybe the roots only grow kind of so far, so there's like a perimeter that you might want to be careful of.
Okay, so I would know to watch my step and avoid stepping too close to them.
Sure.
And I can communicate to Booker to do the same.
Yes, absolutely. Let's go ahead. Let's do acrobatics for you and Booker.
Okay. Oh boy. Also, the only thing I saw for Booker now is perception.
So,
sorry. Okay,
no problem.
I like barely. As soon as I say anything about, I'm like, as soon as I say anything about it, it just magically fixes itself. Also,
that's me. I'm magic.
That he was okay. Gotcha. You are the magic. Thank you. Okay. Acrobatics. You said
acrobatics. Yes, for both of you, please.
Okie dokie. I've got. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Why did?
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, something.
Why did 2 roll? Anyways.
Yeah, that's.
Anyways, fine. I rolled a natty 1, so that's not good. I'm rolling now for Booker. He rolled a 10.
Okay. So as you're walking through this little section, you see the purple vines on the ground, and you're paying so much attention to this big, massive one in front of you that you don't notice that there's like these little tiny ones that are just barely sticking out. And as you step on them, nothing happens at all. You just kind of step on some vines. Not a big deal. Maybe.
Did I notice anything man, this is not the first time I've had a bad situation with vines.
I know. Yep.
Did I notice anything in the book about moisture on them?
No, actually. The violet fungus, for the most part, the vines are underground. It would be strange to see them above ground unless they're actively attacking you.
Okay. But I didn't see anything about, like, they don't do well with moisture or moisture inactivates, because you said they look wet.
I see what you're saying.
Right.
Actually, I will tell you that as far as the violet fungus goes, they don't really have any particular vulnerabilities. Since you read the book, I'll happily give you that as info.
Okay.
Like they're not vulnerable to fire any more than anybody else would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if maybe they didn't attack me because a hose broke or something and they got wet, and they don't do that. Okay. But I noticed that I stepped on it in my amazing roll of 1. And I feel stupid.
More so, like you notice actually, as you're kind of avoiding one of the bigger ones, you step on like some of the smaller ones, and you kind of freak out a little bit. With your 1, let's even say that you kind of spin around, you fall down on your butt, and you're like laying on some of these vines, but nothing's happening.
Okay. Booker kind of nudges me back up,
Sure.
and I pretend like nothing happened. So there's a little bit less vine around the door to the left. And as I've already been a bit clumsy, I want to go look through that door and see if I can't get to that door.
Sure. The one on the left you're trying to go to?
Making anything worse. Yeah. The wooden door on the left. Right?
No problem. You're able to get up to the door. That's not a problem.
Okay.
All right. So are you going through it?
I'm opening it.
Not a leading question. I'm just trying to keep
peering through.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm opening it to peer through.
So you open it up and you peer through, and you see that there are, well, I'll just open it. It's fine. As you open it, you see that this room actually is just the slightest bit brighter. There's a few of those sconces in here, but this room is also filled with a ton of mushrooms. A bunch of those same kind of planters, but the walls are not covered in any sort of fungus at all. There are a number of completely different types of mushrooms here, and this is not a room that you had been in previously.
Okay. So there's different shrooms in here. No bioluminescence. Hold on. Left turn. Different shrooms. And no, I'm very much, as you know, a note taker.
I was just about to say,
like, while I'm taking a bunch of notes.
Any DM who is watching this game right now is like so happy for you. They're like
that I'm taking notes.
Yeah, it's the best. Like, I'm happy that you're taking notes.
Every time I have any meeting with anybody, I'm like, hold on one sec.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess peering in, because right now, just based on peering in, it looks like I see a little bit of purple vine in here.
Yes.
Would that be accurate?
So yes, there are some purple vines that you can see just kind of inside the door. They seem to naturally be continuing from the room that you're in. Hard to see too far into the room as far as the purple vines, but they do seem to be getting, the little bit that you can see, they seem to be getting thicker across the ground further into this room.
Okay. So I'm just trying to get what data I can. I want to try and go over, having peered into this one and seeing different shrooms, no bioluminescence, still see purple vines present. Can I peer into the door, the other wooden door on the right?
If you'd like to, yeah, absolutely. So are you leaving this door open, or are you closing this door?
I am closing it.
Okay. All right. Oh.
We're both clicking on it.
Sorry. All right. So you go over to the other door, and you open it up. Inside this room, from what you can see, there's a ton, not a ton, there's probably 7 or 8 of these absolutely massive mushrooms growing. These things are 5-10 feet tall in some places, and a few of them are actually kind of pushed up against the ceiling of the cave.
Whoa. But they don't look like the violet fungus.
They do not look like the violet fungus at all.
These look like maybe the ones that the quicklings were supposed to be taking care of, because you said they were like the size of the shrooms.
So the quicklings are, just for reference, think like maybe 4 or 5 inches tall. They're very short. They're even shorter than you.
Oh.
That's why Booker could kind of hold them in his mouth. These mushrooms are like 5-10 feet tall. These are huge.
Holy shit! These are taller. They're way taller than me.
They're
These
way
are taller than me in real life.
They're taller than me in real life.
5 feet tall?
Yeah. Well,
holy crap!
I'm definitely over 5 feet, but not 10.
Yeah, you are. I'm not.
So you hear a little noise in here. It's hard to tell what it is. Kind of sounds like almost like a scraping, like if you can hear that, but
creepy. Okay. And again, I see this vine. Is it as thick as the ones in the other room?
There is only one vine on the floor in this room, and it seems like it was a continuation of one of the ones from the hallway where you are. Okay. As far as thickness, it's similar to what you were just standing on.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm really curious about these shrooms.
You hear some more scratching coming from inside this room, and it seems to be getting further away.
Okay. This seems really intriguing to TaLin. So she and Booker are going in. I'm like picturing Booker going in like a hunter dog mode kind of thing. Like his tail's up and he's like curious about that scratching sound.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go into this room.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and drag yourself in. So as you walk into this room, almost immediately you are having to kind of pass through almost like a very dense forest, kind of weaving in and out of these gigantic mushroom stems. And you see just the faintest hint before it goes around the corner of a little, almost like a tail, like a red tail, but there's a number of mushrooms growing off of it.
Oh, what?
And that's this little guy in front of you. He kind of goes around the mushroom and then he peeks back out at you and he looks. And let me just show this here to you. So he looks like this. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say he's cute.
He does not sound cute. Oh my god, that is not cute. Is he huge also?
He is not huge. He's about 2.5, 3 feet tall. But he spots you and he starts to kind of snarl a little bit, but he's keeping his place behind the mushroom. And then he starts moving further away. He starts moving a little further away when you don't act.
But he's trying to get away from me. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going in then. Mm-hmm. And see if I see more of them. Is there only the one?
So as you move in,
have I ever seen anything like this, or read it about any?
I would say absolutely not.
Thing like this. Okay.
Nope. The closest that you could say is he looks a little bit like a kobold, but it's just so far away from that. Like only in that he's got kind of like these red scales, but he's completely covered in mushrooms. As you saw, there's kind of a giant mushroom growing off of his head, his tail, his arms. Everything is covered in mushrooms, and rather than like the typical red scales that you've seen with the other kobolds, this guy's got like, it's almost like if he had scales, they would have fallen off, and his skin underneath it is gray and just kind of looks spongy.
He sounds so gross.
So as you moved further in, you realize that you're literally standing next to another one of these creatures. He was completely hidden. He looks a little different though. And so he's got much more his skin is less spongy and more like hard. And it looks like almost striations going across it. This huge mushroom cap over the top of his head. And he starts to kind of shake it a little bit. I'd like you to roll for initiative.
I know. Okay. This is terrifying. I had to close the picture. It's so creepy.
That's funny.
It's a 10.17 for me.
All right. I always put Booker in combat because I always think of him as his own thing, but Booker is his own thing. All right. So up first is going to be the corrupted kobold that you just are almost stepped on. And he is going to use his spore attack to kind of just coat the whole area as he's shaking his head. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Oh, he is a kobold. He's just messed up.
Yeah, and he's
I need to make a Constitution. Sorry,
Constitution.
Writing notes and got all excited about that.
That's all right. I like notes.
Boop. Okay, Constitution saving throw.
Yes. Ooh, a 4.
Not promising.
All right.
It's a 5 plus 1.
Oh, it's a 5. Sorry. Yes. So
totally.
This giant cloud of toxic spores starts to extend from his shaking head, and he's shaking faster and faster and faster, and he's snarling, and he's just foam is flying off of the sides of his face. You're going to be taking 5 points of poison damage. And at the start of each of your turns, you can try to roll that Constitution saving throw again. Otherwise, you're going to take an additional 5 poison damage.
Okay, fine.
All right.
I'm just like, do I still have any of those shrooms? I think one takes time to make tea or something.
Yes, correct.
Poison,
yep.
So never mind.
Nice try.
Dagnabbit.
Right, that's gonna end his turn. But just all of these.
But it only hits me.
Actually, good point. It would totally hit Booker as well. No, I always prefer honesty. So Booker needs to roll a Constitution saving throw as well. And just to make things easier.
Not prefer honesty.
Just to make things easier, you have to roll a 14 or better.
Oi.
All right, so.
Come on, Buck. Come on, buddy. You got this, boo. Oh.
So 11. Booker also takes 5 points of damage.
Got it.
Okay. Up next is you. So this huge plume of spores kind of just starts filling your lungs. You start coughing, and Booker starts sneezing uncontrollably. But dogs are cute when they sneeze. But
it is super cute. He does the whole paw over his nose thing.
Yep.
When he sneezes, it's really cute.
Did you ever put his hat back on or no?
No, I wanted to protect it because he already dropped it once, and I was
worried it
would get all dirty.
Okay, good to know.
He still has his bandana on, though.
He still has his bandana. Excellent. All right, so what are you doing?
So, I'm right next to this. So, and of course, I always have my machetes in hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm not using. Well, it doesn't make a difference. So I'm going to actually do an ensnaring strike. Again, this thing is seems very mobile, correct?
I would say no. You probably would have. I think that you would have realized with the first one, he wasn't moving very fast. More of a shuffle. I think that they're more mushroom than creature. So, I'll give you that.
So
that's
restraining him probably wouldn't do any good.
I mean, it certainly would stop him from moving, but I wouldn't say he's gonna be running around like the quicklings.
Right. Okay. Well, machete.
Machete.
It is.
All right. Go for it.
Boom. Okay, we have... Oh, come on. Oh, 13?
A 13 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yes. Yay. I can do this twice, so I'm just going to go ahead and also roll that.
So hold on.
Sorry.
7 damage is actually enough to kill him. You hack into this guy and just pretty much cleave his mushroom cap in half, and you see him fall to the ground dead.
Oh. Could I have saved him? Uncorrupted this kobold?
I don't know.
Oh. No, I don't know me. You know. You just won't tell me.
Of course I know. I created him.
Was it different? Oh, now I felt bad.
He's my little guy.
But just does TaLin know that he's a corrupted kobold? Like, can she tell this used to be a kobold and something has happened?
You're currently in the middle of battle. You're fighting against this little guy. I think that the most that you would know is that he doesn't look like any of the kobolds that you've seen, and he's like some sort of a weird mushroom kobold.
Mushroom kobold. Okay, so I think he's just like a weird, aggressive, different species of kobold.
I think that's what I would. I think that's what I would assume if I were you. Also, by the way, since it was the start of your turn, I'd like you and Booker both to roll Constitution saving throws again. You took damage initially, but then you also will take it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
That does make sense. Okay. Boop. Come on. Oh, well. Another 5 damage for me.
Yep.
I'll put that on once Booker has rolled his. Come on, Buck. Protect yourself.
Oh, no.
I thought it was going to be a freaking 16, and it was a 3. So, okay. Oh, not good. Okay. Another 5 for each of us.
Another 5 for each of you.
On our first interaction.
That's all right.
We're not doing great. Okay, is that other one like? Would I have a clear shot at that other one? I guess it doesn't matter.
I wouldn't say you'd have a clear shot. I would say, like, if you were going to shoot at him with your bow, you definitely would not have a clear shot. There's mushrooms in between you.
Okay.
But you do know where he is, as far as, or at least you know where you saw him.
Okay. And it's still my turn?
It's still your turn. So you did your one action, or your one attack, and I believe you have 2 attacks, correct?
Yeah. And I wouldn't have any kind of clear shot. Could Booker move and attack him?
Sure. So I believe that uses your. I know you and I have been playing it wrong, not on purpose, but recently. Shit. You have two attacks, and I believe one of your attacks can be done with Booker versus a bonus attack. But that's a different thing. It's something that I keep meaning to get a better handle on. I don't know if you've seen anything different, but for the moment, let's play it as in you have 2 attack actions, and one of them can be Booker.
Okay, so he can be my second attack. Oh, I didn't mean to move myself also. It was just supposed to be Booker.
That's okay.
But anyways, Booker is attacking that one. Beep-a-doop, beep-a-doop. Oh, there it is. It's the only thing he has. It shouldn't be that hard. Okay. So, does a 20 hit?
A 20 definitely hits, yes.
Come on, little buck. 9.
A 9 will kill him.
I imagine he doesn't need his extra damage in his collar.
No, he doesn't. His bracers, nope. So, all right, yeah, you've killed both of these, and you are now out of combat.
We survived!
So, at this point, I would like you to make one more Constitution saving throw. This will determine whether you shake off the spores without taking more damage, or if you will take one more hit of
another 5 damage.
Yep.
Ooh!
All right, so you're able to shake off your poison. Booker as well.
Yay! Okay, good. Do I have that book? Did I take the book?
Sure.
Like, the dude handed me that book. Could I flip through that book to see what these shrooms are?
Sure. So as you're looking through these, through the book, these are called, actually, you do not see this particular mushroom in that book.
It's not in the book. Interesting.
Now, so you'll note that the book that you got is more about the Underdark, because that's what he pulled out to show you. That's why
for the violent fungi.
Correct.
Yeah. Stupid subcategories. Okay. Well, can I look around at this dead, corrupted kobold thing? I guess, like, can I take a part of it and also look through it and see if I learned anything?
So you're trying to investigate the corrupted kobold? What are you trying to learn?
I guess if there's like anything apparent of like, oh, it looks like this particular mushroom, or it has clear marks from a vine or something.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and make a medicine check. Or nature check. Your decision, because he's a mushroom.
Sure. Wisdom. I'll go with nature. Let's do better on nature this time. 10.
So you with a 10, you could absolutely determine that this was at one point a red kobold. As far as how it ended up in this situation with a 10, you're not going to be able to tell.
Right. Was a red kobold. And those are the type that I've been seeing around on the ceilings.
Correct. And randomly running through the stores and whatever else. They're kind of like helpers around the city.
Okay. So this guy got messed up. And these shrooms don't look weird. Like, well, they're not from the Underdark book. All right. I'm just gonna, I would walk around this room and look around. Perception thing kind of deal, and just see, is there anything else in this room that might give me a hint? Because it was in this room that I ran into these guys.
Sure. So roll investigation for me.
Okay. I keep not rolling with my actual dice because I don't understand the math. So.
That's okay.
Anyways.
Yeah. We could talk about that another time too, because it's actually way easier than you'd think unless you're attacking. That gets a little complicated. But ability checks, it's pretty much just add your modifier. Anyway, so let me ask you a question. With a 19, do you feel like you would be like trying to taste any of these mushrooms, or would you be like touching that? Like, what are you doing other than, unless you're just looking at the ground and seeing if there's anything on the ground? Like, I want you to tell me a little bit more, because with the 19 I might give you some more, but I want you to tell me what you're doing.
Okay, so I like legitimately think that TaLin would be walking around and like parsing through all the mushrooms sort of thing, and like, especially since this mushroom's not in the book, but this dude is growing it and he mostly grows culinary stuff. She would like, you know how like mushrooms on the underside have those little things? I don't actually even like mushrooms, but they have those things.
I think,
and like, so I
think they're called fins. I think they're called fins or something like that. But veins, maybe veins, like VANE.
Maybe it's
but anyway.
Yeah, those things though. So I think she would like break off a tiny piece, like taste it. You know, like in the old 80s cops, like where they like taste it and then they spit it out.
Then they go.
She would do that, like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like, does this taste like weirdly bitter, or is it taste like something fine?
So surprisingly, you've actually tasted this flavor before. You said that Adriana doesn't like mushrooms, but I'm guessing that TaLin probably does.
Probably, yeah.
So this is called a glimmer stem veil mushroom.
Yeah.
And they call it that because typically when they're growing outside, because they're so large, when the moonlight hits the top of these mushrooms, they actually shine a bit. In here, where it's kind of inside, there's obviously none of that, but it's the glimmer stem veil.
Veil. I definitely wrote tail. Okay. And I like the taste of it, so I know it's fine to eat.
Yeah. Yep. Typically it's cooked, but like it's not going to be poisonous.
Cool. So I go ahead and grab like a handful for later.
So you just kind of
my pack.
All right, sounds good. You got that.
Yeah, little snack for later.
Nice.
Get Agnomeio's seasoning.
Yeah,
put that on there, some adobo.
Nice.
Gonna be good later. Okay. All right. Well, I think TaLin has looked around this room. She's killed the little dudes, so she's gonna head back out of it.
Okay.
Into the lobby.
Yeah, sure.
Come here, Booker.
All right, so you and Booker walk back out into the little 3 whatever you want to call it, the T crossing.
Yeah.
So the wood door is right in front of you, and then there's the stone door to your right.
Okay, so I'm gonna open the stone door and peer in.
Sure. So you go to open the stone door, and it's locked.
Did you just start creepy music, or did I just get creepy music all of a sudden?
It's been creepy for a while.
Oh.
Yeah.
It suddenly just came through when I walked through the doors. I was like, oh god.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. So I can't open that door. All right, well, TaLin's first assumption would be, well, maybe there's a key in the other room.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lack of charisma would not make her think to just go ask Grumbleworth to open it. So she's going to go into the left room that she had peered into earlier that had no bioluminescence.
Sure. All right. So you walk into this new room here. And again, there's some purple vines on the ground, and they do get thicker as you go further into the room. There's another, say, 50 or so of these boxes, all growing mushrooms. But none of the mushrooms in here look anything like the ones that you saw in the first room. There's sconces on the wall, so kind of indicating this room, for whatever reason, might need more light than the last room. But aside from that, you're not sure what else. Not sure what else you see. It's still pretty dark.
Okay. Left room. Left room, different shrooms. I like it.
I like it.
More sconces. So there's more sconces, but they're not lit right now.
They are lit. Yep, they're showing that
okay.
that kind of like dull red light.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, I see. They're towards the back.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I
do think it's always funny. You guys always take one step into the room, and then you're just like, "Tell me everything about the room." Like, nah, get in there, look around.
Yeah, because we're terrified of what you're gonna do to us.
Excellent.
I remember when Agnomeio's hat got burned off. Okay. I'm
that's true. Yeah, that was a while ago. His pith hat got burned.
Yeah, actually, I think it was when we first met.
It was. Yep.
When they met TaLin.
I'm switching to Knob Creek 100,
okay.
by the way. So.
Oh well, I'm on freaking Booker's.
Oh wow.
I thought that was appropriate.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Booker.
Well, I've had like 3 of the old granddads, so I figured I'd switch to something else. All right, so you walk further into this room. Let's just get you in there because you're being all hesitant here. So as you walk in,
slowly dragging.
It's okay.
Okay.
As you walk in, you look around and you see some of these mushrooms, and you've definitely never seen any of these before. There's mushrooms of all different colors, and even some of them seem to have some bioluminescence going on. There's probably 20 different types of mushrooms in here.
Oh.
Yeah. And you look over at Booker, and he kind of looks up at you for a second, and then you see his saddle falls off.
What?
His saddle falls off.
Yeah. He looks up at me and then his saddle falls off.
Correct.
Why? Okay. I take a look at his saddle.
The straps seem to have been unfastened or something, but like nothing's damaged. It's just on the ground, fell off.
Put it back on.
Sure. As you're fiddling with this, and as you're kind of reattaching it, one of your machetes just falls off of your hip, or wherever.
Do I feel like a bump? Do I feel like?
I would say no. You kind of all of a sudden like you hear like clang, and then you look down and your machete's on the ground.
One part of me is like, TaLin runs out screaming. TaLin does not do haunted houses. But that is me, not TaLin. Okay, so while I'm putting on back on his saddle, for you listeners who don't know, I'm so small I sometimes ride the Mastiff, and it's awesome.
Absolutely.
So I'm putting back his saddle. My machete falls off. Does the saddle fall back off, or does it stay on now?
It stays on this time. Yep.
Okay.
The door behind you.
This was a machete that I had like in its little holster sort of thing.
In its holster,
side,
yep,
right?
absolutely, yep. And it just fell off. And then the door behind you just shut.
This is so creepy. I don't watch horror movies for a reason. So TaLin picks back up the machete and is now absolutely holding the machete in her hand.
Sure. Booker looks up towards the ceiling, which is pretty high in this room. It's not like crazy. It's probably about 20 feet high. And you see this little dark blue. You see a little dark blue thing flying around, very, very fast, like a dragonfly. And it's just zipping.
So much smaller than a kobold.
Much smaller than a kobold.
Weird kobold. Okay. Do I see any kobolds up there though? I'm feeling stupid for not checking the ceiling after hearing about kobolds.
That's okay. No kobolds on the ceiling.
Okay. Weird blue dragonfly thing.
So this little dark blue dragonfly thing kind of flies over and it lands on Booker's head. And it looks at you and it says, "Intruders! Defend the spores! Show them the wrath of corrupted might!" And you see 4 other little guys kind of scamper out from underneath various areas in the room. One of them is yellow, one of them is pale blue, one of them is purple, and one of them is bright red. You know what? I'm gonna do you a favor so you don't have to worry so much about the notes. I'll show their names on the screen.
Okay. I think you overestimate my vision. What? Oh, they're so small.
They're very small.
Are you kidding? Okay. So those all fly up when this guy yells at me.
Well, so only one of them flies. Reason. Only one of them flies. The dark blue one that flew and just landed on Booker's head. And then
wait, are these bigger than a quickling? These are bigger than a quickling.
These are all the size of a quickling.
Or small? I mean smaller.
Because they are exactly the size of a quickling. Precisely the size of a quickling. Yes.
Funny story. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wish I had something that like froze time or something. So he yells at me, and now all these other quicklings, I start seeing them all over the place in different colors, though.
Yeah, there's and
the shrooms. Do they match the different colors of the different shrooms?
There are shrooms of all different colors in here. So yes, but that may or may not be consequential.
Are there yellow gill shrooms? Wait.
You don't know what
yellow
those are.
Gill? Golden gill?
Glowing gill.
Glowing gill? Is it in my book?
So, no, again, the book is more about the Underdark.
There. I don't know if glowing gills are from the Underdark.
So, I think we've given you enough time. Go ahead and roll for initiative here.
Bugger.
As these little guys are rolling up on you.
No. Oh, no. I rolled a 7.
You rolled a 7?
1-7.
Uh-oh. Yeah. All right, so up first is the bright red quickling, and he's actually gonna run over super duper fast, and he is going to look at Booker, and he is going to breathe fire at Booker. So he's going to
leave Booker alone.
He's going to use his fire breath.
He has fire resistance.
Well, that's good.
I think.
So resistance means that he will take half damage. I believe that's true. He'll take half damage on whatever happens. So you and Booker both need to roll a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Okay. And okay, so shit.
All right, so you're successful. So you're gonna take. Let's see how much damage you're gonna take. I hit the button.
Wait, does Booker get advantage? Is that what? Oh no, it's half damage from the failed throw.
It's just resistance. All right, sorry, that's not. I think maybe. Oh boy. All right, sorry. Let's do this.
So I pass the Constitution saving throw, so I don't get damage.
So you take half damage. I'm just gonna roll this again because something's going on with the damage here. So let's just do this.
So it's like similar to resistance.
It's going to be 3d6. All right. So you are going to take 6 points of damage, and Booker is going to take 13. As this
but he's got resistance.
Sorry, you're right. So you both take 6.
Oh,
yep.
Thank God.
All right. So anyway, so this little tiny bright red little guy runs up, and he just looks at you, and he just breathes fire, and then he runs away really fast.
What a little dick. 33.
All right, and then that will be his turn. Up next is the pale blue quickling. So he is, let's see. Oh yeah, okay, he's a fun one. So he's going to run really fast. For me, he's gonna run really fast. He's gonna jump up on top of one of these boxes, and he's gonna look right at you, and he's gonna kind of put his fingers up to his temples, and he's gonna cast Mind Sliver at you, which is
I like this guy.
a psychic attack. So you're gonna have to roll a man. There's a lot of saving throws here. An intelligence saving throw, please. So you fail on that. So the damage is going to be looks like 6 psychic damage. So as he kind of looks right at you, and he says, "The corruption spreads. Soon all will kneel before the power of the spores." And he's just
this dude's psycho.
Right into your skull. Up next is the little yellow quickling. Now this one you've at least seen before. It's a different guy, but same idea. He's gonna run up to you, and he's actually going to make 3 dagger attacks against you. So
you wonder why we're hesitant when we walk in a room. Just saying. You wonder why we are hesitant. Because we roll a freaking 7 on our freaking initiative roll. That's why we're hesitant.
Well, this is to teach you to be better with Booker. This is all just for you.
What? Booker tried.
I kill because I love. All right, so so all 3 of them are going to hit you.
27 hits.
All right, so actually, I'm gonna just make things easy. So, so 21 damage.
Just a heads up, and I don't know how much you've had to drink. That leaves me with 6. Just with 6 HP. I just want you to know. That's all. So, go.
All right.
So things are going well. What was that health potion I got the other day?
He is going to run and hide underneath this little cart over here. Up next is the.
How many more of these? There's one more.
There's 2 more. Nope, there's 1 more. I'm sorry. The dark blue. He he hasn't. Anyway.
Let me guess. He's the worst.
So the little purple guy. So he's laying down inside of the thing. He's not really doing anything. He's actually sleeping. A little strange. Up next is the dark blue, the one that had landed on Booker's head, and he kind of bounced over. So he onto one of these boxes. So he is going to throw his. Actually, what is he going to do? I think he's actually going to run over, and he's going to unclip one of Booker's bracers. And
how is it so easy to unclip his bracers?
Well, what? No, the first one was his. Ooh, that's pretty good. So his sleight of hand to unclip these bracers, he rolled a 25, which is going to be successful. So Booker is going to lose one of his bracers just onto the ground. And at this point, he's going to only do 1d6 extra damage with that. And then he's going to kind of run away as well. Now it is TaLin Creek's turn.
Like the damage that Booker does is 1d6.
Mm-hmm. Right, because normally he does 2d6 when he has all 4 on, but since he's now missing one, it's I'm kind of counting them as doubles.
Okay. So purple guy is sleeping. Is purple guy the only one within the realm of the red lights, or no?
Correct. Yes. Actually, well, so you can see where they are. So there's the yellow one is pretty close to you, but he's underneath the little wagon. The dark blue and the pale blue are right in front of you, and the bright red is to the right of you.
But the purple one is like exposed to the red light, or am I focusing on absolutely the stupidest thing?
I would say that shouldn't be something that you should focus on.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No problem.
This is what I mean by I will absolutely focus on the stupidest things.
That's okay.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. So I'm fucked. Does it cost an action or anything to take a health potion?
So the way we do it is it's an action if you want to get all of the hit points out of your potion. If it's a bonus action, then I need you to roll for it, which you could still get max. But if you use your full action, you'll get full healing from your potion.
Okay, I don't have that great of a health. Wait. Where'd you go? Potion of healing is you regain 2d4 plus 2. I think I know the answer, and I think it's going to make me sad. But I'm going to ask anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I get 2 attacks. That is not the same thing as getting two actions.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. So you get
So I
an
can't,
action, a bonus action,
get the full
reaction.
thing and still have 1 attack. Okay.
Yep. So you could use your
well,
bonus action to drink it and then also have your attacks if you'd like.
I think I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Which feels dangerous. Okay.
Well, you're at 6 hit points, so it's not a terrible idea.
Yeah. I'm really glad I bought one. I'm partly mad at myself for not going through my money stuff and seeing if I could buy one of the higher ones.
That's okay.
But so 2d4 plus 2.
Yep. So if you just click on the icon, it should roll it for you. Because you're doing it as a bonus action, right?
Consume available use. Yeah, I'm going to use it as a bonus.
All right. So
TaLin Creek's target is blocked by a wall. What? I'm drinking a potion. How is that blocked by a wall?
Hey, that's not
bad. Okay, I got 7. Out of the potential 10?
10, yep. You got 7, not bad.
Not bad.
Right. Better than
I'll take it.
Average.
Okay. 6 plus 7 equals 13. Heads up, podcast, I have 13 points.
And Booker has 16.
Yep. Yeah, Booker's got 16. So, considering how much whiskey I've drank, I'm pretty proud of my math, where it stands as the moment, at least.
All right, so what are you doing with your attacks?
Okay.
Or will you
so
with your
TaLin
action?
is gonna use her Yuan-Ti's serpent bow.
Okay.
Which is basically a bow and arrow with a knife on it.
Yep.
But I'm gonna do the whole arrow thing.
Okay.
So and I am aiming at who did me the most damage? Who am I the most mad at?
Probably
fucking dark blue.
No, probably pale blue. So technically the bright red did the most damage, but yeah, I mean, so it's either bright red or pale blue.
Okay, I'm going after pale blue first.
Okay. He did the psychic damage.
They sound like UNC, and nobody likes UNC. As a South Carolinian. Sorry.
That's fine.
Everything's so small. I cannot get things to work on my bigger screen. So
all right, a 19 will definitely hit. Go ahead and roll
I imagine
damage.
a 19 hits, right? Yeah.
It does, yep.
Damage. Please be like the guys in the other room.
All right.
7?
A
Did
7.
he die? Did he die?
A 7 is not enough. No.
Damn it.
So, you knock an arrow. You take
but I have 2.
You do.
Bonus action was health potion. I have 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Is Booker the other? Can I use Booker as the other one?
You could use Booker as the other one if you wanted to. Yep.
And Booker can get to bright red.
Correct.
Wait, who removed his bracer?
Dark blue.
Dark blue's already pretty weak. So Booker is going to go after bright red.
Okay.
And attack bright red. With his extra 1d4 now, correct?
If he hits,
I'm sorry
yes.
that I moved both. I didn't move both.
I took care of Booker. All right. So, Booker is up next to him. Go ahead and make your attack roll. With your bite.
You get it. Boop-a-doop.
Moving around so no issues. All right.
Come on, Booker.
19 will hit. Excellent. All right. Roll your bite damage. 10 damage is enough.
10.
So 10 damage.
Oh.
So tell me how Booker kills this bright red quickling here.
So it's the size of a dragonfly? Or a little bit bigger? It's bigger than a dragonfly.
Like 4 or 5 inches. Yeah, it was more. He was flying around, kind of looking like a dragonfly. So this little bright red guy was
just
good.
Booker just like bites him basically in the middle and just chomps on him until it breaks into 2 bits. Yeah.
Woohoo! The little red quickling, he breaks in half, and like this bright red blood kind of flows out of him, and it's all over Booker's face.
Good.
And he falls into the ground in 2 pieces. All right, and I believe that will be.
I love it. I love the idea that Booker just looks so like terrifying right now.
Awesome. All right, up next. So bright red is dead. So pale blue is up next. So pale blue.
Wait. Can I move behind something?
Sure.
I guess it doesn't matter with these guys. They're so fucking fast and tiny.
They are very fast, but being behind stuff is never a bad idea.
Yeah, I feel like cover would be...
Yeah, so cover is a thing, and actually I'm not sure that we've probably talked about it, but whatever. So if you are behind full cover, like let's say that you just dive behind one of these things, you're going to have a +5 to your AC, because I'll consider that 3/4 cover, given the size and whatever else. So you could do half cover, 3/4 cover, or full cover. Half cover is +2 AC, 3/4 is +5, and then full cover is they can't hit you. So like full cover would be like you're on the other side of the door, right? Does that make sense? I'll help you with it at some point. Okay. All right. Anyway, so the pale blue guy is up next. So he is seeing what just happened to his little friend there. He is going to, let's see, what is he going to do? I'm going to actually roll to see what he does here. Give me a sec.
Not kill me? That'd be good.
All right. Actually, so he rolled a 1, so he's scared. So he's actually gonna run over to the little bright red guy. I'm gonna put Booker back where he. Oh, did you purposely move Booker over there?
No, it won't let me not move. Like when I move one, I move both.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to undo it, but
the little blue guy, he runs over and he actually grabs. Using both of his arms, he grabs part like a leg and an arm from the little red guy, and he goes to pull him underneath this box here. So up next is the yellow quickling. So he is going to, let's see, he is actually, I'm going to do the same thing for him. These guys have a very specific thing that happens after one of them dies. So with a 4, he is actually...
I do feel bad. I know the other guy wanted me to save them, but...
that's okay. Hey, whatever.
I almost died.
So this guy is going to... He's going to run back into the far, far back corner where it's the darkest, and he's going to hide. Up next is the purple guy. Now, purple is going to wake up, and he is going to he's going to lazily walk over to one of these other boxes, and he's going to look at you, and that's going to be the end of his turn, because it's way scarier that way. Dark blue, he was the one that landed on Booker's head originally, and then kind of loosened his stuff. So he's going to run over. He's going to attempt to take off another one of Booker's braces. So he's going to run over.
What a dick.
He's going to roll sleight of hand, which he has quite a proficiency for. Oh boy, I rolled a 19 too. So with a 27, he's going to
freaking A.
He's going to drop another one of Booker's bracers, and he's actually going to hold onto it and attempt to drag it. So he's going to use half of his movement that he has left, and he's going to drag it underneath one of these tables. All right. Up next is TaLin Creek.
What? This little guy's now not only... He's like straight up stealing. Thief.
So as a quick little recap of that round. So bright red guy's dead. Pale blue guy grabbed bright red guy and dragged him underneath one of the boxes. Yellow guy ran away and hid in the darkest area of this room. Purple guy woke up and very slowly for himself, although it was still faster than you can move, got over and is staring at you, looking quite tired. And dark blue stole another one of Booker's bracers. So Booker is still at just an additional plus 1d6 for his magic, but he is down 2 bracers.
Okay.
All right, what are you doing?
So these are these mushrooms that are all around me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recognize. They're not in my book.
No,
right?
They're not in your book.
Can I eat one?
Absolutely. So the ones that are directly in front of you are blue. But within arm's reach, I'd say you could either pick blue or yellow.
Blue.
All right. Let's see. And you're going to eat one. Okay. So let's see what that does for you.
Heads up, I would spit it out if it was bitter to begin with. A good sign of poison.
All right. So just tell me this. Are you eating a pale blue one or a dark blue one?
Dark blue. Fuck you, Tar Heels.
Dark blue. Okay, so you take a bite of the dark blue one, and you feel yourself levitate up off the floor. You rise about a foot, you rise a couple feet, ultimately stopping somewhere around 3 to 4 feet off the ground. And Booker is looking up at you like, "Bow."
No. Sorry, Booker.
But you find that you are able to move, levitating off the ground about 4 feet, at about the same rate that you could run just by thought. So if you're like, I want to go forward, you're going to go forward, left, right, whatever else. So you are currently levitating 4 feet off the floor. I'll consider that a free action.
Ah, yes.
Because they're small. You just kind of grabbed it, tossed it in your mouth, and all of a sudden you're floating, and now you're like, whoa.
Okay. Sorry, I'm looking around at where everybody is, but of course their names are like overlapping and stuff.
I know, yeah. So the pale blue one is
fine.
underneath a thing, so it would be hard for you to see. The purple one is on top of a table, as well as the dark blue one is on top of a table too. No, I'm sorry, he's underneath the table. No, he's underneath the table. Yep. So it's basically just the purple one. Yeah.
I'm floating over to the purple. Oh, is the purple one that just woke up?
Yes.
I'm sorry, purple one. Oh, do I have any control over my height in the air?
Yes. Yep. So you can go, let's say, up to 10 feet high. Because this is not fly, it's levitate. Yep.
But can I lower my... could
you could
land on the purple one to kind of trap him so I'm not killing him, but debilitating him from joining the fight? I
would let you roll an unarmed attack to see if you can catch him. He's very quick, and you are your normal speed. So he'll do a... actually, yeah, we'll just do unarmed if you want to do that to see if you can catch him.
Okay.
So you have to roll a 16 or higher.
Ugh. Okay. Come.
19.
19.
Awesome. All right. So you kind of float over and you're just like air swimming, and then you turn upside down and you
don't mind me.
He's still sleepy. He didn't actually kind of see you coming. He's like rubbing his eyes and all of a sudden you're holding him in your hand. What are you doing?
I'm tying him up because I have rope in my pack.
You're tying him up. I think we're stretching.
Yeah, because I'm trying to save some of the quicklings at least. Sure. I don't want to kill them all.
All right, so you could tie. I'll give you that. You could tie him up with like a little piece of string or something that you have, because rope is going to be way too cumbersome.
Too much,
but that will be the entirety of your turn if you want to do that.
So Booker can't do anything.
You're doing a lot. So you ate a mushroom, you started flying, you moved over, you grabbed him, you're tying him up. That's a lot to do in 6 seconds.
I floated.
You did.
Which was, you said was a free, I ate, which was a free action. Mm-hmm. And then I did my movement.
All right, sure. Go ahead. Booker can do a thing.
Action.
That's fine.
Yes. Okay, who is the one that was nearby that was under? Was that dark blue?
It's pale blue. Yep. It's just to the north.
Pale blue. Okay.
Yep.
That one. Is that also who stole his bracers?
No. That was dark blue.
Was it dark blue?
It's easy to keep all of this straight.
Yeah, I was like, I thought it was a blue. I think in my head, I hate pale blue. Okay, so Booker is like, hey, you stole my shit, and runs after Dark Blue.
Okay.
To try and grab him.
Sure. So go ahead and roll an attack.
Yes. Okay, come on, buddy. You got this, boo. You got it. Do better than Mama.
Hits.
20.
All right, 20 will definitely hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
Is he able to purposely not kill?
He could do that.
He only does 7.
He does 7 damage. So 7 damage. So he had 10 hit points total. So he is pretty low. But you also want to roll an additional 1d6. You can tell me that you want to make something non-lethal damage. You still have to bring them to 0, but the intent will not be to kill. It will be to make them unconscious. So if that's what you're trying to do.
On purpose, non-lethal. Yeah.
Got it. All right. So roll an additional 1d6 and hope that you roll a 3. You rolled a 1.
I rolled a 1.
All right. So he's down to 2 hit points. All right. So Dark Blue is he's kind of flipping out a little bit, and he says, "Shadows in the dark, whispers in our minds. We serve the spores. We obey."
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. There were no bioluminescent lights in here, correct?
Nothing in here. Nope. All right. Anything else?
Just got bamboos, some spores. No.
All right.
I think that's all I can do. I think you actually maybe even let me do a little more than I should have.
Maybe a little bit. So, all right. So Pale Blue has sufficiently pulled the half bodies of the red underneath this thing, and Pale Blue is not too happy with you right now. But I think what Pale Blue is going to do is Pale Blue is going to jump up on the thing, and Pale Blue is going to look at you again, and it's going to hold its fingers up to its temples, and it's going to attempt to mind sliver you again. All right, let's see what happens.
I knew I hated Pale Blue for a reason.
You need to roll an intelligence saving throw, please. And I'll roll damage while you're doing that.
Boss says that every day.
Well, it's going to do one point of damage to you regardless. But if you succeed on your intelligence save, which you did, so you actually take zero points of damage. So I'm not entirely sure how to narrate that, but he's like, bzz, and you're like, nah. So, all right. And then
I'm way too smart for that.
You're actually going to see Pale Blue is going to run over to the wall, and then he's going to disappear somewhere. Yellow is going to hang back again. Purple. Now, Purple is pretty awake. He has been hurt. You attacked him. He's going to cast a sleep spell on you. So the way that sleep works is I roll 5d8, and that's the total amount of hit points of creatures that it can affect. So let's just first off, we'll roll 5d8. So I'm going to roll. Come on. Woohoo! That's a lot of dice. I like it. So up to 22 points of damage I can put to sleep, which is not going to be both of you. So he's going to aim for Booker. He's going to put Booker to sleep, and that will be it. So Booker is currently asleep.
Oh, good joke.
All right. So on his turn, he'll need to, I think, roll something, which I'll look up real quick in order to wake up.
Okay.
And then up next is Dark Blue. And Dark Blue, guess what Dark Blue is going to do? He's going to run around behind Booker and start going for the back of his legs. He's going to roll Sleight of Hand.
Hey, Dark Blue. He always rolls really well. 16.
16. What is Booker's?
15.
Well, I'm actually going to roll his perception here because it's close enough. So Booker sees him coming, and he kind of actually no, Booker's asleep. I'm sorry, no. So he takes off a third one of his bracers. So Booker no longer has the additional damage from his attack. All right, and that will be the end of Dark Blue. He's actually going to run over to the wall as well, and he's going to go disappear. You see them actually, he's close enough to you, and you're kind of watching him. He's disappearing into this little hole in the wall. So the only one left right now is Purple, who is right in front of you. And it's your turn. And Booker is
Is
asleep.
Purple the one that I tied up?
Purple
I
is the one.
That he could do the sleep thing while I'm.
You are correct. He is the one that you tied up. Yep. So he did the sleep thing, but you're right. He can't run. He can't really do much of anything.
Okay, I don't want him to put me to sleep. So can I use one of my attacks to knock him out? Just like bop him on the head.
You know what? He's tied up, and you're pretty much holding him. I don't even think you have to roll for it. So you knock him out.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to knock him out so he doesn't knock me out.
Sure. And then you kind of shake Booker awake. You know, at this point, you're out of combat and easy enough to wake Booker up. But you are obviously quite hurt.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great. Okay. So, Pale Blue had a Mind Sliver. Purple had this sleeping thing. And when I did the blue mushroom, I floated up. What did dark blue do? Oh, dark blue stole everything, so it had nothing to do with floating. But maybe one of these others mushrooms?
Dark blue was flying at one point. So you ate the dark blue mushroom.
Yeah, and I floated. Oh, yep. Dark blue was flying at one point?
Yeah. So you didn't see what yellow really did. Pale blue was using like some psychic attack on you. Bright red, blue fire at you. Purple put you to sleep. Dark blue was flying, and then that was it.
Okay. I'm scared. So I'm looking around at the mushrooms that are all around me.
Mm-hmm.
Pale blue do the Mind Sliver. I'm like, what's most likely to heal me? I'm like, could sleep be taken as like rest and therefore healing? Should I look for a purple mushroom?
Why don't you do this? Why don't you roll a nature check for me? Let's see what you see about these mushrooms in the room.
Can I do a risky whiskey? I really want just like to know something. Okay. I think this is Old Elk that I'm finishing.
Do you say old milk? I know you said old mill. She's dying. I purposely was like, I hope I can make her laugh while she's chugging it, because I was like, please come up the nose. That'd be.
That used to happen to me all the time as a kid.
Just chugging old milk.
It was old.
Old elk. Okay, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so with your 9, you're kind of. Oh, that's right. You got a risky whiskey. Go for it. So
no,
nature.
I get to go again.
Nature check.
Please be better.
It is better.
Yes, 14.
All right, with a 14. So I would say you're able to, while you're looking around at all of these mushrooms, you're putting together a little bit of a story here, and you're seeing some bites taken out of things, and you're definitely putting together the fact that each one of these quicklings had been eating a similar colored mushroom, and it's what was giving them their powers. So because you rolled fairly well on that, I'm actually going to give you some more information here. So there is a journal entry that I've just thrown up on the screen. It should show up in your journal area, but the idea is this now shows you pretty much everything about these magical mushrooms. It shows you the name of them and what they do.
Any chance you can do your magic to make this not dark mode?
Yes, probably. Let's see. Did that do anything?
No.
No. All right. Well, that's fine.
I think you made it worse.
That's okay. I'll tell it because there's an audience who's listening to us. So I'll make this fairly quick. So glowing gill mushroom basically gives you night vision. Mind's Eye will enhance one's psychic abilities, allowing them to read minds or see glimpses of the future. Ember blooms are they can be used as a fire starter or added to cooking to give a smoky flavor. Those are a little bit less magical, but they will, spontaneously combust. So if you don't have any other way of making a fire, you can use those. The Dream Weavers will allow you to induce vivid and lucid dreams, allowing you to explore your own subconscious. Stardust will let you fly short distances. And the fire cap, which are very rare, when eaten, they will allow you to breathe a stream of fire out of your mouth, doing 2d10 fire damage against a dex save. Ooh. So there's 6 kinds of mushrooms here, and each one you would know just from having been in the city before. These cost quite a bit of money.
Oh. She failed to mention. So, like, I mean, the other ones have been eating, so I could, like, grab a bit of some of these mushrooms.
You certainly could.
And he probably wouldn't notice. And blame it on the others. So TaLin just, like, tiredly, because she's down to freaking, 13, runs around grabbing bits of shrooms.
Sure. So I'd like you to roll me a d6.
Okay. So these guys have been eating random things.
Actually, I'm sorry. Roll a d12, please. Roll a d12, not a d6. Yes. So these quicklings you've been able to figure out that they're like these little bites taken out of them and stuff. So they've been running around. They've been eating these.
I just keep clicking on things until it says, there it is. Okay, sorry.
All right. 4. So with a 4, so you're only able to harvest 4 of these mushrooms. And I'll, just for the sake of time, I'll let you kind of decide on those later, which of those 4.
Okay.
And in what capacity. Like, if you'd like to take 4 fire caps, you certainly could, but you'll be able to harvest successfully 4 of them. Okay?
Yep. Okay. So, I mean, these guys have been eating this stuff, but that doesn't really explain the whole presence of the violent fungus.
Mm-hmm.
But
presumably.
Well, I guess I could just go back and... Okay, well, first I'm going to look around this room and see if there's, like, maybe a key to that other room.
Sure.
If not, I might go back to the front and ask, what's his face?
So you look around the room for a little while, and you actually don't find a key until you go to leave the room. As you go to leave the room, you actually note that there is a key hanging on the wall just on the other side of this door. Like right about here.
See? You made me walk all the way into the room earlier, remember? See? I could have avoided all this bullshit.
You could have. All right, so you whoops, I just deleted you. So you grab the key, presumably, and head back out to the 3-way intersection.
Yep. So I have not a lot of health. Booker's doing better than I am. Okay, but I've got this key. I'm going to try it out on that iron door, see if it opens it, and peer in.
It sure does. So you put the key in, you unlock the door, and then you open it up. And inside this room, it's very dark. What you see are red and blue mushrooms kind of scattered about, as well as some of these purple vines along the floor.
Okay. Okay. Well, I start creeping my way in along with Booker.
Sure. All right. So you walk in. You walk into the room.
Yep.
And let me just kind of do this for you. So as you walk in, you're very careful this time to avoid any of these mushrooms. Unless you're not, in which case, tell me.
No, I absolutely am.
All right. So let's roll another acrobatics check for me, just to see how you do on this corridor here. And just roll it for yourself.
Okay. Come on, TaLin. Ooh, sweet.
Much better.
18.
Excellent. All right. So you deftly weave in and out of these mushrooms. And as you're getting closer, you see it goes from red and blue. Now there's some purple and some green. And these mushrooms are getting more and more dense and slightly larger the further into this room that you go. You're walking down the hallway. You're walking. And you come to another stone door that is closed.
I try to open it and peer in.
Sure. So you open it up and you see that there's like a intersection directly in front of you. There's a cave wall, and the path seems to go to the left and to the right. But to the right, you're seeing kind of a shimmering purple glow.
Oh. Okay. I sneak my way over to the right. Booker is in front of me because that's more helpful.
All right, so Booker is leading the way, and you are walking closer, and you see these.
Did I pick up? Did the other guy leave his bracers hanging around, or did he run off with the bracers?
He did not run away with them, and I'll say that you picked them up off the ground. It was mostly just to inconvenience you during the fight. So you were able to reattach them to Booker's legs and everything. So he's good to go. But good call, because had you not remembered, I might have said something. So,
Oh God.
Okay. So in front of you, you see what you can only describe, I believe the color would be referred to as octarine. And octarine is the color of magic. It's like a purplish hue. These giant fungus are growing from the ground, and they're growing almost up to the ceiling of the cave, which is about 15 feet tall. They're all different sizes, small to gigantic. And there is a very visible glow, but also almost like a wave of magic around them, almost like you're looking at a really hot road on a sunny day, and there's a shimmer to it.
Yeah.
So this is what is in front of you, and you hear like a little, almost like a chime. It's like a ding 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 ding, kind of coming from inside of the mushrooms, but it doesn't stop. It continuously goes.
Okay. Weird. There's crazy like music going on, and these things came out of nowhere. So, and based on that book, this is the violet. Violet fungus.
Maybe violent. I'm not sure, but if these are the violet fungus, they are nothing like what you saw in the picture. But what you do see is that the roots are much thicker towards the base of these fungus. However, they're also all over the floor, even to the point where you're standing right near them, and they're not doing anything. They're not reacting to you at all.
Why are they so chill? And according to that book, I would expect that they'd be reacting because they're supposed.
If they were violet fungus,
violent, aggressive. If it was violet, not violent, violet fungus. Interesting. So maybe it's because of all these other things that he's growing. Are they like multicolored? These mushrooms?
They are kind of hues of both a navy blue to a violet purple and everything in between.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna use Beast Sense to send Booker closer to like sniff it and look up closer and see what's going on, only because I am not feeling great.
Sounds good. All right, so you cast Beast Sense, which I believe this is the first time that you've done this on the show.
This is the first time, yeah.
For anybody listening. So you touch a willing beast, and you can basically see through their eyes, hear through their ears, whatever else senses they have, you now take on those. However, your body is mostly like comatose. You're not unconscious, but you can't move, you can't do anything. You're just kind of standing there or possibly sitting. All right, so you are now seeing through Booker's eyes. Your hips are a little itchy and your tongue is dry, but aside from that, you are aware of many more smells and many more things around you.
Did you say my hips are itchy?
Yeah, like you gotta want to scratch, like yeah.
Oh,
I meant to say your ribs, but I also am drinking whiskey.
Oh, that makes more sense. I'm like, as a woman, that is like the weirdest thing I've ever. Your hips are itchy.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why?
Well, your hips don't lie. Shakira.
The hips don't lie. They're itchy.
Your ribs are itchy. Okay. So anyway,
okay, that makes more sense.
So Booker kind of starts padding a little bit over towards the fungus, but what would you like to do with him?
So he is.
That's fine.
Basically going closer again.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Yep.
So he's going closer and sniffing out the fungus and, relaying what he's sensing about it. And if there's any of the vines are like starting to move because he's gotten closer.
So as Booker gets closer, I would actually even say, just based off his being with you for so long and the things that he's experienced, you're starting to feel like Booker's hair is kind of standing on end. There's something that's bothering him, but he's not scared. He's more just uncomfortable. Like there's like an unknown here that's really kind of, honestly, it's freaking him out a little bit. Nothing is happening with the vines on the ground. In fact, they're completely motionless, as one would expect from vines, but they're not as wet as they were out in the hallway. Almost like these are turning into almost like tree roots where there's bark on them, rather than like a malleable thing trying to find its next source of food. And as Booker gets closer, a couple of these fanned, very flat fungus up at the top, they shudder a little bit, and these little bits of pollen fall down over the top of Booker. And as this happens, several more of them shudder a little bit, and these little pollen things kind of fill the room. I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Come on, buddy.
This is on you, not on him.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay.
I mean, on him, so that doesn't count, right?
That's okay. Booker's, it'll be fine. Go ahead and roll your own.
Yes. Okay. 11.
All right. So Booker rolled a 5 and you rolled an 11, and you feel yourself getting really, really tired. And you just you kind of snap back out of Booker's mind, and you find yourself sitting down on the ground, and you lean back up against this cave that's right next to you, and you close your eyes and you fall asleep. And as you do, you wake up and you're sitting in your house with your husband, Spose. And you're both sitting in your favorite chairs within your house. You're in front of a fireplace, and there's a little baby Booker sitting on a bearskin rug in front of the fireplace, and he's chewing on a bone. And because
this is so sad,
everybody has to, I have to show you the picture of baby Booker.
Oh my God, do we get a baby Booker? Look at him! He's so cute. That's ridiculous. Okay, that makes me so happy.
So baby Booker is just gently gnawing on a bone, and you and your husband are both reading a book. You probably research. I'm not sure what he'd be reading, but he's equally into it. And you're both happy, and everything is just wonderful. And as you're sitting here, you're a bit younger, and obviously Booker is as well. And you just kind of exist in this moment for a little while. Then you kind of blink a little too long, and you find yourself again in your home, except it's a little different this time. Sorry. Your home is completely engulfed in fire, and you find yourself laying on your bed, and you're just waking up, but there's so much smoke in the air that you can't see, you can't breathe, you can't do anything. And Booker is at the side of your bed, and he's tugging at your arm, and you find that you can't see through the tears, kind of like the smoke is just so thick, but Booker is holding onto your arm, and he's helping you to crawl through the fire and out the door. And I'd like you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. I'm so involved in this. Can I just roll it because?
Yeah, go ahead. Just roll a d20.
Done. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're using like my favorite freaking dice.
Roll a d20 and add a 1 to it.
We have 18.
18.
So like 17 plus 1. So
yep.
18.
So you start coughing a little bit, but Booker grabs you a little tighter and he pulls you hard. He's very strong, and he's a little older than he was in the last scene, but he's very strong even for a puppy. And he pulls you, and you make it into the next room. And you see those 2 chairs. They're on fire and they're burning, and the bearskin rug is burning, and all of your books are burning. What would you like to do?
Where's the door, I guess?
So the door is just to your south. So he pulled you out of your bedroom, and he's heading you towards the front door, which is a long hallway just to the south.
Okay. And in relation to me...
About 10 feet away.
The books are...
Oh, the books, they're probably about 25 feet away. They're on the back wall.
Oh, okay. So I'd have to go backwards to grab a book and then come back forwards.
Correct.
Kind of thing. Okay. So I'm kind of like just following along with Booker, but I'm yelling out Spose. I'm yelling out for my husband and trying to figure out where he is.
All right. So you hear nothing, and it occurs to you that Spose is not here anymore. He's been dead for a while.
Yeah.
Booker drags you up to the door, but he can't open it himself. So you reach up, you feel around for the knob, and you open the door. And he drags you out into the hall, which luckily is mostly not on fire, but little Booker, he's just breathed in too much smoke. And he lays down on the ground and he starts panting.
No! Okay. Do I have any fabric or water that I could, like, wet fabric over his nose?
Sure. So you were in bed. So you're wearing whatever you would wear for clothes to bed. But aside from that, no water, just cloth.
No water. Okay, so we're ducked down.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the hallway now that goes towards the like Foundry's just being
no, it's okay.
So
yeah, so you're in the main hallway, and you know that at this point you've got about 30 feet to crawl, but you could make it to the front door. But Booker, like I said, is laying on the ground, panting heavily and sneezing and coughing.
Can I still make it to the front door if I pick him up and low crawl below the smoke to try and
roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Again, Foundry being a jerk. So.
Oh, that's fine. Just roll your dice.
D20. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
You're not gonna believe me, but it's again a 17.
That's fine.
That I rolled last time.
Yeah. So. All right. So you scoop Booker up. You kind of wrap him in a bit of your shirt, and you start crawling forward towards the front door, and you make it out the front door. Outside, and you notice that there's a gigantic tree to the side of your house that you and your husband planted when you first moved in, and it's completely engulfed in flames. And you're able to get away from the house, and you make it, 50, 100 feet away, and you turn around and you see this home that you and your husband built together and lived in, completely engulfed in flames. All of your research, all of your books, all of your everything completely burned. But you have Booker.
This is so sad.
You blink
I've already
again.
lost my husband.
You blink again, and you find yourself waking up within the cave. However...
Forgot about the cave already.
At this point, you sense that there's somebody else in the room with you. Somebody very powerful. You can feel this essence of just something divine. And you see an elven woman, very skinny, tall, wearing furs, with a bow crossed across her chest, and a quiver of arrows across her back. Next to her is a fox, a red fox, much larger than a typical fox. And it's sitting by her side, kind of panting and looking at both you and Booker. As you look over at Booker, you realize that whether he had the same vision or dream as you did, whatever was in his mind scared him and made him sad as well. And this elvish woman walks up to you and she introduces herself and she says, "TaLin Creek, I am Dilla, goddess of the hunt. You and your companion Booker here have proven your bravery and your companionship, and I would like to give you a boon." And she hands you an amulet, and she says, "This is something very special I'd like you to wear. This will allow you to take better care of your partner, Booker. At any time, if you'd like to, you can speak a word of your choosing, and Booker will enter the amulet and be safe as long as it's around your neck. Just know, this amulet can be destroyed. If he's in it, well, it is. He will also be destroyed. If Booker is knocked unconscious and he's within a close distance to you, he will enter the amulet and stay there, unconscious, but alive. I would like you to take this."
I'm so happy.
"I would like you to take this amulet and wear it in the name of Dilla, the goddess of the hunt."
Goddess, I am absolutely honored. I cannot tell you what this amulet means to me and Booker. We will wear it in your honor forever.
Excellent. This will not be the last time that we meet, TaLin Creek. And then she walks kind of back into the cave around the corner, and as you would expect, completely disappears.
Of course, disappears. Everybody disappears in these caves.
So you are still within this cave, surrounded by these glowing purple, violet fungus here. What would you like to do?
What do I have? I mean, like, the kobolds didn't die. So much of me just wants to eat
the ones
one.
that you killed?
I'm just like, I just want to, well, no, the other ones. The ones who've just been
the
here
quicklings.
out and about. Oh, yeah, the quicklings. Yeah. My bad.
That's okay.
The quicklings. I just want to eat one.
You want to eat a fungus? It's part of the fungus?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
But that's a really stupid thing that I feel like TaLin would not do. But also, she's very emotional right now. And, actually, okay. She puts on her amulet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gives Book a big hug. And then Booker takes a bite of it. The violet fungus.
All right. Roll me a d6.
Oh, I'm so scared. Okay. It is a 4.
All right. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens when he bites it.
At least not immediately. Nothing that you see. I mean, he took a bite. He swallowed it. No effect.
Okay, so at least apparently doesn't appear to be like fatal to mammals in general. TaLin is like in a way weaker state right now, but she goes ahead and also eats it because maybe it does something different for humans.
All right. Roll me a d6, please.
Hey. Oh. A 6.
Okay. Same effect. You take a bite of this. It tastes really spongy. It's kind of bland.
Like
and as you take a bite of it, you do kind of feel this immense sadness, but you can't tell if that's from the fungus or from what you just saw. Overall, you're feeling pretty down.
Does this look like the Dreamweavers that were in the other room? Just bigger?
No. They're quite a bit different. Think like I think what's it called, an elephant ear, like the ones that grow on the side of a tree, similar to that except with a full stem.
Okay. I was just thinking, I went into this whole dream state and everything. Okay. Well, there is a whole area that I have not explored over here.
Well, so you look over there. There's really nothing over there. At least not that you can see.
Nothing.
It's,
okay.
Yeah, it's just extra cave. Although you do notice that the goddess is long gone.
Yeah, she's out. Goddess of the hunter. Goddess of the hunter. Is that what it was called?
What did I say? The goddess of the hunt.
Goddess of the hunt. That makes more sense.
So it's Dilla, Dyla. Dilla, goddess of the hunt.
Got it. I wrote her name down, but not the hunt part. What do I want to do? Can I do? No, none of those make sense to this thing. Could I do okay, let me take all of this into context. Quicklings obviously ate different things, gave them different skills, but to begin with, Violent Fungus is coming up and making the Quicklings act abnormal to begin. Oh, but so we're seeing these vines. They are thicker, closer to these bioluminescent fungi. They appear to be attached to these bioluminescent fungi?
Definitely. Yeah, like those purple vines are almost undoubtedly coming from whatever is producing this fungus. Whether it's coming from somewhere else or coming directly from here, they're very clearly related.
Okay. It's going to be a double thing of probably stupid, but like TaLin just like, oh, I'm going to take a specimen sort of deal. I'm not really meaning to attack the thing.
Sure. So
it's going to cut off a piece of vine.
So I just realized something, and I'm wondering what you think your status is. So don't read into this. It's more that I realized that we forgot about it. So while you were fighting the Quicklings, at one point or another, you were still holding your torch, but you would have had to drop it in order to fire your bow or whatever else. As you're walking through this cave, would you have lit another torch?
I guess it would depend, because I currently still have my goggles on.
Correct.
So I think it would just depend on the amount of vision those goggles gave me. I have terrible vision in real life, so personal me is like, yes, because anything that would help my vision would be great.
Yeah, so for the moment, I'll just assume that you do not have a torch out. It wouldn't have affected anything other than just, how you would have seen. This is what your vision looks like right now. So it's mostly dark, but the dancing purple magical lights.
Okay. But I could still see the vines to cut off.
Totally. Yep. So are you taking a vine or are you taking part of the fungus?
Well, I took a part of the fungus when we both ate it.
Correct. You ate the fungus, but you said you were taking a specimen. I'm just asking what you're grabbing.
Yeah. Well, I think when I took the specimen to eat some, I also took some, to go, like that I can do little drops of and stuff. And
okay, so you're going to be leaving here with a specimen of both the top and the root?
If I survive, yes.
Sure.
That's the hope.
So, as you cut away some of this mushroom, some of those spores start falling again, but you notice that they don't really have the same reaction this time. In fact, you don't feel tired. You don't feel anything. So you take some of the root and you take some of the top, uneventfully, but you stash it away inside your bag.
Okay, so when I had a torch lit and I took some and spores fell, it made me sleepy?
It had nothing to do with the torch.
Oh, okay. Just checking. That specimen, no problem.
You are such a scientist.
Okay.
I love that. Yeah.
I really am.
What's the differing factor?
Okay.
Oh, the part that Bill forgot
Like,
Bill forgot you were holding a torch. That was the differing factor.
Exactly. Like, did that affect? Okay, like literally, the difference between one centrifuge and the other centrifuge just changed.
What
like,
are you
the
doing
whole
in the cave of the
experiment.
mushrooms? What are you doing in the mushroom cave? What are you doing? Where are you going? What are you doing?
Well, I've now eaten it. I've cut it, and nothing's happened.
Correct.
Like, I feel like I'm gonna go back and ask Grumble douche
Sure.
what he's doing with these shrooms.
Okay. All right. So if that's your intent, I can drag you all the way back there just to save some time.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So you head back out of the cave here, and you're heading, whatever, along the route. It's taking a little bit of time, probably taking you about 5-10 minutes or so to get all the way back out to the front. And as you do, you see Grumblewort is what?
Okay.
Never
mind.
Sorry, maybe I'm a little too cliche with my saying you see, but that's just the only way to say it. Anyway,
no, it was more than 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm like, the mushrooms are having their effects.
No, so Grumblewort Stonebeard he was waiting by that stone door, kind of just like playing with his fingers, like cracking his knuckles, just very nervous. And he sees you come out. He goes, like, TaLin, how did it go? What did you see? Your
quicklings are I'm confused. I wrote halfling instead of quickling, and that's what keeps confusing me. I'm like,
okay.
Why am I killing myself? So your quicklings are eating your shrooms and getting special powers. But also in one of your rooms, you've got this crazy purple bioluminescent shroom, but it's not aggressive like you would expect of a violet fungus from the Umberdark. Are you purposely growing that in that room?
I did not grow that. That shouldn't be there. But that would explain what's going on in the Shimmering Caverns too. Okay, TaLin, thank you very much for your help. I will deal with the quicklings. I've told them many times, don't get high on your own supply, but apparently they don't want to listen. I could deal with them. But the purple fungus, we're going to have to get the Ironhearts over here to deal with that. I'm very, very nervous about what this means for the Underdark, though. But needless to say, you deserve a reward. I do need the goggles back because I use those. But I do have this for you. And he hands you a bag with 100 gold in it. And he says, yeah. You've done me a great service. Also, I'd like to give you some of these, some of the mushrooms that you saw, if you'd like. I can give you. I have 1 fire cap and 1 dreamweaver that you can take, and he gives you another bag with a couple of mushrooms in it.
Woohoo! What do you mean? Wait, though. What do you mean about what's going on in the Shimmering Caverns? What do you mean this explains what's going on in the Shimmering? I just risked my life and literally almost died.
Yeah, I can see you look a little bit. You know what? Actually, all right. So here's what we could do. I can't tell you about the Shimmering Caverns. I just can't. But tell you what. And he goes back over to his room and he writes on a little piece of paper and he hands it to you and he says, "Take this over to the Shimmering Anvil over in the Silverhammer Clan's area. And tell him that Grumblewort sent you, and tell him that I'll have his delivery for him in a couple of days. But meanwhile, ask him if he can give you a good deal on a new set of armor, because yours is looking pretty beat up at the moment."
That's fair. This armor is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it looks like you got stabbed there a few times.
Oh, I've been stabbed.
And you got a little blood coming out of your nose that you might want to deal with that. He gives you a really dirty handkerchief.
Look, it's been really dry, okay? You said the Ironhearts, you're gonna have to call in the Ironhearts for help?
Yeah, they're usually, they deal with things like this, so.
Alright. Just making sure I got all my notes right. Well, Grumblewort, I do appreciate the help with the new armor. So, you're welcome, I guess.
Yeah,
that's all I got. You won't tell me anything that I really want to know, so.
Well, you know, there's certain trade secrets. I appreciate the help. If I need some more help, I'll be sure to look you up. But you know, 100 gold and a set of armor is a pretty good deal for a little bit of secrets.
That is a pretty darn good deal. But when you're like a freaking researcher, you just want answers.
Well,
you can't help but be grumpy, especially when you're down to 6 health or whatever I'm at.
How about this? Can you make a persuasion roll for me?
Ooh, okay. Persuasion, come on. Oh shit! I always forget. Why do I have a -1 charisma? That would be a 4. So. That didn't go well.
By the way, speaking of research, I believe you have my book. You should. Can I have that back, please?
Are you kidding? I don't even get to keep the book.
It's my book. I need that. It's got all the things. I need my book back, please.
Do you know where I could get another copy of this book?
The Platinum Weave has a library. I imagine that they might have some for sale, or you could at least read through it.
I do avoid libraries nowadays, but okay. Platinum Weave. I'm gonna pick up this book. I think it's shady that you want this book back. So, here's your freaking book.
So you look at the title of the book as you're handing it back, and it says The Veiled Depths.
Ooh, good title.
Thank you.
I like it. Okay. Cool. All right. I basically give him the peace sign and I'm out.
All right.
Me and Booker. I put Booker's top hat back on though.
Oh, of course you do. Yes, of course you do. So he says, well, thank you so much, TaLin. I hope to see you again. Hopefully not too soon, but at least I know I can always depend on you. And all right.
TaLin's like, yeah. I gotta go get a beer.
All right. So a couple of quick things. So this is kind of the end of the episode, but for the sake of just kind of time on the stream and such, we will discuss offline about your armor and kind of go deal with that, as well as we'll figure out kind of how you get back over to your group in a time sensitive manner while they're, not so they haven't already planned everything without you. So
sounds good.
Yeah, but everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on this little interlude. This is super fun. Thank you, Adriana.
This was super fun.
I liked beating you up. It was good to stab you multiple times.
You always like beating. I'm definitely the new Alessio. I feel like.
It's just whoever's in my sight at the moment.
I'm always near death. At least Booker was fairly safe as go. So I'm so freaking excited though about the new amulet. So
oh yeah,
I have
it's
no
a good
complaints. One. And the whole sweet moment back of the house. That was killing.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's episode. I definitely enjoyed running it, and Adriana, you're awesome as always. And we will see you, Adriana. You're not going to be with us on Monday, but the rest of the group will be, where we're planning a heist, and then we'll see you the following week.
Yep.
All right. I hope
if
you enjoy.
I survive the thunderstorms and Glacier, so.
Yeehaw!
Wish me luck.
All right. Well, I hope you have an awesome time. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody.